You know, I've decided that before we create something, first it's best that we learn to select something. I know that this may seem a little awkward, but trust me, it will make sense a bit later on. Selecting objects in Illustrator is pretty straightforward and very important at the same time. Learning to properly and quickly select artwork will save you many frustrations. Trust me on that one. There are basically two ways of selecting objects in Illustrator. In the main tools panel at the very top and to the left, you'll find Group Selection tool, which is this black arrow right here. It's your primary selection tool, which allows you to select the whole object or group of objects, as well as quickly transform them. Next to it sits the Direct Selection tool, which is this white arrow. This tool allows you to select a single path of an object, but also the whole object as well, and an object within a group of objects. I mean, if you have the Direct Selection tool active and you hold down the Alt key, you will see a little plus sign next to it. That means that by clicking a single path, you will actually select the whole object instead of a single path. So I guess it's a more versatile tool, but it's a good practice to be able to smoothly switch between these two. There is also a whole menu called Select here at the top that lets you do more sophisticated selections based on different attributes. There's also this little arrow here in the control panel at the top. When you hover over it, you'll be prompted that you're about to select similar objects. Here you can choose them based on their different attributes like fill or stroke color, stroke weight, opacity, and so on. All in all, it works pretty much the same as the select menu at the top. As you get better at the software, you can decide which option works better for you. Now, let's get back to our main selection tools, because we're definitely not done with them yet. Now, what's important to learn here is that there are two, let's call them schools of using main selection tools. The first one encourages you to learn two shortcuts initializing each one of them. The first one is the V key for the group selection, or the black arrow, and the A key for the direct selection, the white arrow. The second school advises to get into the habit of holding down the Control key, which instantly changes any tool currently in use into the last chosen selection tool. It doesn't change it permanently, but only as long as you hold down the Control key. Let me show you what I mean. If I click any tool in the Tools panel, I'll choose the Pen tool just as an example, and now hold down the Control key, I'm going to change it into the last selection tool I used. As soon as I let it go, I'm back in the Pen tool. Again, holding down the Control key to activate the selection tool, let it go to go back to the Pen tool. In my workflow, I tend to use both of these techniques depending on the design situation, and I think it's best to have both of them in your portfolio. In the next video, I promise we'll start exploring the creation tools, beginning with the rectangle and rounded rectangle tool, so don't go away.